Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this right now. God says, Bigelow, a person who is your friend is going to kill you if you skip this. Open this before it's too late. Archangel Michael says, do not underestimate the power of one choice. A doorway opens in this very moment, and what you do with it determines which world you step into next. You are being pulled towards safety with a force that does not ask, it commands. Your breath knows the truth before your mind does. Your pulse has already begun to speak, tapping a code against your wrist, spelling out the urgency you don't want to name. Listen as if the air around you could shatter. You stand at the edge of a thin line drawn between yesterday's comfort and today's revelation. The old room is still, but something in the quiet has teeth. You feel watched by a memory that refuses to stay a memory. Archangel Michael says, I have counted every step you took to reach this sentence. The steps behind you are over, but the path ahead has not yet become what it will be, and this is your one safe place to decide. If you close this now, you invite a shadow to walk 2 paces closer. God says, Bigelow. The face that smiles at you is not the face that prays for you. The voice that laughs with you rehearsed a different line when you left the room. There was a night when you shared something small and private. You thought it disappeared into your friend's pocket. And maybe they nodded kindly and changed the subject. That small thing became a key, and it unlocked a door you didn't know was inside your name. Archangel Michael says, I pressed my palm against your shoulder when you felt unsafe for no reason. I shifted the air when your phone rang at an odd hour, and you watched the caller ID and chose silence. I am here now because the hour has moved again, and this time it's louder. You remember a gift you were given that felt a little too heavy for what it was. The ribbon was tied correctly, but it cut into your fingers. You carried it home and set it down, and then you had a dream you couldn't explain. The dream was all corridors. Some familiar. Some not. You heard running feet behind you and felt sure they belonged to someone who loved you. But when you turned, the echo smiled and did not stop. Archangel Michael says, the echo has a name you would not suspect first. The echo carries secrets like coins and trades them for access to rooms where your future hangs like a coat on a hook. The echo is patient and practiced at being almost perfect. God says, Bigelow. Not every bond is sacred just because it was formed during a sacred season. Some bonds were borrowed from your need to be understood, and those bonds will break the moment understanding becomes hard work. Your friend is holding 2 stories about you. One is the story they tell you with soft edges. The other story is the one they feed to a hungry listener who loves the sound of new damage. Archangel Michael says, I am not here to make you afraid. I am here to place a bright sword between you and the hand that would rewrite your ending. The sword is a boundary you did not know you were allowed to draw. Think of the last time you felt a sudden cold in a warm room. Think of the last time your feet hesitated at a familiar door. Think of the last time your name was said kindly and something inside you stepped back. Your intuition is not a superstition. It is a message already signed by God. It arrives in small flashes like camera bulbs in a dark hallway. You are meant to follow those flashes until they add up to a daylight that can't be argued with. Archangel Michael says, I have counted the lies on the table. They look like playing cards, casual and low stakes, but they were shuffled by a hand that knows how to hide the ace called consequence. You are being invited to stop playing. Here is how the trap breathes. It waits until you are tired and grateful for company. It offers you an easy chair and a softer story and then asks you to leave your guard by the door. God says, "Be Gawler, there is a conversation about you scheduled for a room you would never enter willingly. There is a plan to place you under a sentence you did not write." Archangel Michael says, "Your life is not a coin in someone else's fingers. Your kindness is not an open-ended loan with no date of return. Your future is not a stage where envy gets to be the narrator." You will notice 3 signs, and when you do, you will know you have been told the truth. The first sign is repetition, the same strange phrase spoken by 2 different mouths within one day. The second sign is misplacement. A small object you value appears in a place you know you did not leave it. The third sign is timing. A message arrives seconds after you think a thought you did not share. When those signs appear, do not debate them, do not give them a watered-down name so you can keep the room quiet a little longer. Name them fully, and the room will echo with an authority that protects you. Archangel Michael says, "Remove the permission you never meant to give, fold up the chair you keep offering to someone who never sits without leaving a stain. Lock the door inside your heart that opens toward their approval. You will remember the exact moment your friend made a joke that dressed itself as a compliment. You will remember the weight of it, how it landed in your chest and refused to leave for hours. You will remember deciding to laugh anyway because you didn't want to change the mood. God says, I saw that decision. I saw you collect your dignity quietly, as if it were a fragile dish you didn't want to draw. I saw you choose peace over pride and I counted it as strength, not weakness." Archangel Michael says, "Now I ask you to choose a different kind of peace, the kind that does not require you to vanish. The kind that draws a bright circle around your name and tells every shadow to stay on its side of the line. Walk through your home tonight with the lights on, touch the edges of your doors and listen for the click that says enough. Sit with your phone in your hand and delete the number you answer out of habit instead of hope. The person who calls themselves your friend will notice your silence and call it rudeness. They will try to awaken your old guilt, the one that made you apologize for breathing too loudly. They will test each window to see which one still opens with jetpot." Archangel Michael says, "Let them talk to the closed window, let them talk to the locked door. Let them tell your absence the story they used to tell your presence. Your life does not belong to anyone's agenda. Your joy is not an accessory someone can borrow for their event and return scratched. Your calling is not a favor. It is a fire. God says, I am turning on lights behind you. You will see the hand that kept switching them off. You will recognize the smile that accompanied that darkness and you will not be confused by it again. Archangel Michael says, You're me with the urgency I carry. I will not whisper in a room where your soul needs a trumpet. The time for soft warnings has ended. The time for clean decisions has begun. You will feel lonely for a moment after you act. You will look at the chair where your friend used to sit and your heart will move the way a curtain moves when the door closes. That movement is not emptiness. It is space returning to its rightful owner. Your future has been waiting outside, checking its watch, not angry but earnest. It could not enter the room while the old pattern guarded the doorway. It could not breathe while you kept ventilating a fire that only smoked your lungs. Archangel Michael says, "Lift your head because I have handed you a new key. It unlocks the next season and the lock responds to courage, not apology. Use it before the hour repeats itself." Remember this. The person you are releasing is not the every story. They simply cannot be the steward of yours. They build their days on a supply you should not fund. They will find another audience, but you have other stages. God says, "Big alert delivered, and now the blessing that follows obedience." When you choose safety, you choose clarity, and clarity multiplies. It brings with it the allies you deserve and the rest you have not felt in a long time. Archangel Michael says, "You will wake soon with a steadiness that surprises you. You will touch your chest and find the old ache gone, like a name you can't remember. You will step into the day and it will fit. There is a knock you will hear in the coming days that does not belong to regret. It belongs to opportunity with honest hands. Open to it without explaining where you have been. Let it see you as you are now. Your story survived a room that was set up against you. Your kindness survived being misread. Your heart survived the noise that tried to edit its rhythm. Archangel Michael says, "This message found you because you asked in a quiet way you didn't even realize. You said, 'Show me what I need to know,' and heaven answered by removing the disguise on a familiar face. Now you know, and knowing is a door that only opens one way. Stand up. Put your shoulders where courage keeps its coat. Walk to the edge of this moment and step through with both feet." God says. Big alert complete. Destiny resume. The shadow will rage for a little while because shadows always prefer borrowed light. But you will not be available for borrowing anymore. Archangel Michael says, "I will stand at your threshold for a time. I will watch the road that used to bring a certain car. I will stay until your peace grows tall enough to guard itself. Your name is being rewritten by the same hand that wrote morning into the first day. Your home will feel like a sanctuary again. Your sleep will belong to you again. The circle around you is not a prison. It is a garden wall. What grows inside it will feed you, and what approaches it must ask permission. You will become fluent in saying yes to life and no to harm." Archangel Michael says, "Keep this message where you can touch it when doubt asks for a seat. Read the lines that steadied you and let them steady you again. The truth does not expire under pressure. Close the door gently, not angrily. Bless what is leaving and bless what is arriving more. Turn your face toward what is honest and keep walking until the air tastes like tomorrow. God says, I am with you in the small hours and in the loud daylight. I am with you when the old text pings and you don't respond. I am with you when the new call comes and you recognize my timing. Archangel Michael says, you did not skip this, and that choice changed the map. The road bends now toward a safer horizon. Follow it, and do not look back for applause from a seat that is no longer yours. This is where we end for now, not because the protection fades but because the protection has taken root. You will see the proof in your next quiet morning. You will feel it in the way your shoulders drop and stay dropped. Archangel Michael says, go in strength that does not advertise itself. Go in clarity that doesn't need permission. Go in the peace of someone who finally recognized their own door and walked through it. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Archangel Michael says, do not return to the house of hesitation. Your footsteps have learned a new rhythm and it would be a loss to teach them the old one. Stand in the doorway of this moment and let your courage finish the sentence you started. You are not late to your own life. You were delayed by rooms that demanded your silence as rent, and now the lease has ended. The keys you kept handing back were actually yours from the beginning. Archangel Michael says, keep your rituals small and your decisions exact. Pour out the patterns that taste like yesterday and replace them with boundaries that sound like tomorrow. The sound of a door locking can be a hymn when that door used to open to harm. Watch how peace rearranges your furniture. The chair that faced the door will turn toward the window. The light that avoided your corners will begin to lay its hands there. Archangel Michael says, take inventory without apology. Count your hours the way a gardener counts seeds, each one a future hidden in a small ordinary container. Plant only what you want to harvest. The old conversations will knock with a soft fist. They will ask you to remember the good parts and forget the bruise. You will let memory be honest without letting it be in charge. Archangel Michael says, there is a map opening inside you. It shows a street you kept avoiding because it led away from familiar noise. Walk it now and let the quiet introduce itself by name. God says, every time you choose clarity, I widen the path one more step. Every time you choose yourself, I adjust the weather in your favor. Every time you breathe like you have a right to, the air agrees. Archangel Michael says, you will receive an unexpected kindness soon, untouched by hidden price tags. Do not mistrust it because you were trained to expect the bill. Receive it like rain you did not schedule and let it soak the soil you thought was done. Your discernment is sharpening like a blade that refuses rust. Where there used to be confusion, there will be clean edges. Where there used to be pleading, there will be presence. Archangel Michael says, if regret tries to sell you a ticket back, decline with a full heart. You are not abandoning anyone by choosing not to be abandoned. You are not breaking loyalty by refusing to be broken. The one who wore friendship like a borrowed coat will feel the chill of their own weather. That is not your winter to manage. Wrap your warmth around your shoulders and go. Archangel Michael says, choose 3 small actions and make them sacred. 1 for your space, 1 for your voice, 1 for your voodoo. Clean a drawer, speak a truth, send a letter your doubt can't sign. There will be a moment when you feel an old ache reach for you. Do not argue with it, simply do not feed it. Let it pass like a stranger who missed your name on the mailbox. Archangel Michael says, the story of your protection will not always be dramatic. Often it will sound like a calendar change, a meeting cancelled, a detour you almost resented. Later you will see the exactness and smile without needing anyone else to understand. The friend who studied your softness as a strategy will notice the absence of your easy yes. They will send a message that pretends to be a memory, you will not answer the audition. Archangel Michael says, some people only love you at your smallest setting. You were never built to live on dim. Turn the dial until your life recognizes you. You will relearn rest, not as collapse but as ceremony. You will feel your shoulders remember their real shape. You will sleep without the kind of dreaming that steals from morning. Archangel Michael says, treat your name like a room that requires invitation. Not every knot deserves entry. Not every familiar story deserves a second season. When gratitude returns, it will not be gratitude for surviving, it will be gratitude for beginning. A difference matters. It will change how you spend your hours and who gets to say they know you. Archangel Michael says, the blessing on your life refused to be traded. It would not accept counterfeit signatures or quiet sabotage. It waited for you to place both hands on it with certainty. Look forward with a steady face. The horizon is not a ruler. It is a promise kept daily. You are allowed to believe good news about your own future without apologizing for it. Archangel Michael says, remember the 3 signs I gave you and the way your body answered them. A memory is a compass. Keep it near when kindness and convenience argue. You will meet new faces who prefer doors to traps. Their laughter will not require a translation. Their advice will not demand a receipt. Archangel Michael says, your silence will become music again, the kind that repairs what noise damaged. You will hear your own voice rise without flinching. You will witness yourself becoming someone you promised long ago to be. The shadow will try a final performance. Using urgency like a costume. It will claim a crisis where there is only consequence. You will let the curtain fall and keep walking. Archangel Michael says, walk as if the ground is loyal to you, because it is. Walk as if time respects you, because it does. Walk as if heaven invested in your rival, because it has. There is work for your hands that does not diminish your heart. There are rooms that will only open for the version of you that refuse to shrink. There is a peace that requires your full size. Archangel Michael says, bless the path behind you without inviting it back, bless the lessons without romanticizing the classroom. Bless the love you offered, and bless the love you are now ready to receive. You will not need to explain to people who are aligned with your safety, they will see the shape of your boundaries and call it beautiful. They will meet you where you do not bleed. Archangel Michael says, store this message like bread in a famine. Tear off a piece when the day feels thin. Share it with no one who would use it against you. When the season changes in your favor, it may do so quietly, no trumpet, just sunrise. No parade, just the right door opening at the right time. Archangel Michael says, you kept your heart generous in a wilderness that wanted you cruel, that is why the next city belongs to you. That is why your steps will sound like home on streets you have never walked. You will not find your power in someone else's permission, you will find it where you stood anyway, even when approval stayed silent. You will find it where truth didn't flinch. Archangel Michael says, lift your eyes because the new allies are arriving. They are not grammatic. They are dependable. They do not need a stage. They bring a table. Your story will stop apologizing for being alive. Your calendar will stop apologizing for being full of what you chose, your voice will stop apologizing for being clear. Archangel Michael says, the test is ending. The lesson remains. Keep the lesson and let the test go. You have nothing to prove to the rooms that already made up their minds. Let tenderness meet courage and call that meeting leadership. Let boundaries meet kindness and call that meeting wisdom. Let rest meet purpose and call that meeting tomorrow. Archangel Michael says, I have stationed strength at your thresholds. Anxiety will knock and meet a guard it cannot charm. Doubt will circle and meet a wall it cannot scale. You will become fluent in staying with your choice. Staying with your peace. Staying with your future until the present catches up. Archangel Michael says, there's a quiet victory scheduled for you. It will not trend but it will transform. It will not be loud but it will last. The one who must name themselves friend will move on to softer targets. That is not your responsibility to manage, teach, or fix. Continue forward without consulting their weather. Archangel Michael says, grace is not the same as access. Forgiveness is not the same as reunion. Healing is not the same as returning. You are allowed to be done. You are allowed to be new. You are allowed to be happy without a footnote. Archangel Michael says, if memory stings, answer it with evidence. Show it the life you are living now. Show it the doors that stay closed and the windows that open only to light. You will notice that joy fits you. It does not slip at the shoulders or pinch at the limbs. It sits right and lets you breathe. Archangel Michael says, you have not failed by needing help. You have matured by accepting it only from hands that are clean. You have not fallen by resting. You have risen by refusing to run where you should have rooted. You have not lost by leaving. You have won by arriving. There will be a day soon when you forget to be brave because you are simply being yourself. That is the goal. That is the sign the war ended. Archangel Michael says, keep walking until the echo of the old room can't find you. Keep walking until your reflection recognizes the steadiness in your eyes. Keep walking until even your doubts ask for directions. This continuation stands beside what has already been said and strengthens it. It builds the wall that keeps your peace inside in the storm outside. It refuses to let any hand other than yours write the next page. Archangel Michael says, you did well to open this and better to keep reading. You will do best of all by living it. Go now, protected, precise and ready. Archangel Michael says, you have already crossed a threshold that cannot be uncrossed. The ground behind you will try to bargain, but it has nothing left you need. Keep your face toward the air that finally lets you breathe. You are learning the difference between noise and warning. Noise asks for attention without offering safety. Warning offers safety without asking for applause. Archangel Michael says, treat your hours like currency and spend them where your future earns interest. Do not finance anyone's confusion with your clarity. Do not mortgage your peace for temporary approval. The next days carry quiet upgrades. Your room will feel taller because your boundaries raise the ceiling. Your steps will feel longer because your courage lengthened the floor. Archangel Michael says, schedule your protection into your day like an appointment you refuse to miss. Lock what should be locked and mean it when you turn the key. Answer what should be answered and mean it when you speak. You are permitted to be selective with your presence. You are permitted to reply when it is right and remain still when it is wise. You are permitted to leave certain messages unread because your spirit already read them. Archangel Michael says, You own no one the version of you that was created to survive sabotage. Retire that role with honor and gratitude. Hire the version of you that builds without apology. The harmful friend will test your exits. They will try nostalgia, urgency, guilt, and sudden flattery. Each tool will fail against a boundary that is no longer for sale. Archangel Michael says, keep a record of your strength the way sailors keep a log of safe harbors. Write down the nights you chose sleep over spirals. Write down the mornings you chose purpose over panic. Your nervous system is learning a new song. It has fewer alarms and more constancy. It has fewer jumps and more depth. Archangel Michael says, the truth you hold now will attract companions who are fluent in honesty. You will not need to translate your needs into smaller syllables. You will not need to disguise your yes or dilute your no. There will be an invitation that arrives with clean hands. It will not make you shrink to enter. It will not make you pay for acceptance with your silence. Archangel Michael says, the old pattern taught you to confuse access with love. The new season teaches you to recognize love as protection with warmth. It is shelter and sunlight in the same house. You are not obligated to revisit the museum of past injuries. You are not required to read the plaques again. You are allowed to close the exhibit and open a studio. Archangel Michael says, your intuition has earned a seat at the table and a vote on every decision. It spoke quietly for years while you were busy being kind. Now it speaks clearly while you are busy being whole. Do not perform calm to keep chaos comfortable. Do not perform small to keep envy sleepy. Do not perform gratitude for what depletes you. Archangel Michael says, your strength is not a rumor anymore. It has paperwork, signatures, and dates. It is recognized in heaven and will be respected on earth. Choose practices that anchor your day. Drink water like it is a promise you keep to yourself. Touch your door frames and remember that you choose what enters. Archangel Michael says, align your tasks with your safety. Declutter rooms where your past felt crowded. Rename folders where your future deserves clarity. Your courage has stopped asking permission to exist. It stands where it stands and the room adjusts. It speaks what it speaks and the echo learns a better job. Archangel Michael says, the hand that tried to dim you will find other switches to flip that are not connected to your light. Let them. Your wiring is newly protected and well labeled. Your phone will ring at strange times less and less. Your heart will ring with rightness more and more. Your calendar will ring with purpose at just the right hour. Archangel Michael says, sometimes protection looks like a detour that saves you from a collision you never saw. Accept detours with gratitude. Thank the map for caring more about arrival than speed. There is a room in your future with soft chairs and strong conversations. The windows are generous and the door only opens from the inside. You will host your life there with dignity and joy. Archangel Michael says, release the last thread of needing to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding. The thread tied your wrists together. Let it drop and notice how your hands can finally build. The harmful friend studied your patterns. Now your new pattern is unreadable to sabotage. It is simple and exact. It is consistent and kind. Archangel Michael says, choose mercy for yourself first and watch how mercy multiplies. Mercy is thy loophole for harm. It is a haughty dat for healing. It is generous without being naive. Your morning begin to feel unthreatened. Your evenings begin to feel deserved. Your afternoons begin to feel like ground you can plant. Archangel Michael says, remember the 3 signs and how they trained your attention. Now watch for 3 promises. First, an offer that aligns with your integrity without negotiation. Second, a connection that honors your boundary without testing it. Third, a moment of laughter that releases something you did not know was still tight. When these promises arrive, receive them as normal. They are not exceptions. They are the new baseline. They are not miracles. They are maintenance. Archangel Michael says, your resilience is not meant to be your permanent address. It is a bridge, not a home. Cross it and keep walking toward a life that does not require constant repair. You will feel the air change around your name. It will carry less rumor and more respect. It will carry less projection and more truth. Archangel Michael says, let gratitude become specific and ordinary. Thank the door that stays closed. Thank the message you do not send. Thank the quiet that feeds you. The friend who pretended to be shelter will finally stand outside in their own weather. You will not open your window to catch their storm. You will not open your hands to hold their lightning. Archangel Michael says, invest in the people who do not panic when you grow. They will adjust the frame to fit the new portrait. They will celebrate the light without asking you to dim it. Your voice now fits your chest. Your plans now fit your calendar. Your peace now fits your sleep. Archangel Michael says, request nothing from yesterday except the lesson. Take everything from today that proves you listen. Prepare tomorrow a seat at a table set with clarity. You are not a recovery project for anyone's ego. You are not a spare battery for anyone's drama. You are not a stage for anyone's jealousy. Archangel Michael says, forgive yourself for staying longer than was safe. Forgive yourself for believing longer than was honest. Forgive yourself for hoping longer than was healthy. This forgiveness is not a pardon for harm. It is a passport for you. It stamps you free to move without the weight that tried to keep you still. It grants you travel to places your fear could not imagine. Archangel Michael says, your spirit is not breakable merchandise. Handle it with reverence and insist others do the same. Post a sign where your soul can see it. Sacred. Do not mishandle. You will notice steady relationships rising like clean architecture. Straight lines. Solid foundations. Trustworthy doors. Beauty without trapdoors. Archangel Michael says, honor your body as a messenger of truth. When your shoulders tighten, investigate. When your lungs release, proceed. The harmful friends' shadows will no longer fit your rooms. Their stories will no longer find purchase on your walls. Their plans will no longer map onto your days. Archangel Michael says, claim your quiet victories without needing loud validation. The right witnesses are arriving on time. The wrong witnesses have lost their invitations. You are learning the language of enough. Enough rest to think clearly. Enough boundary to love safely. Enough truth to live freely. Archangel Michael says, place joy on your calendar like a non-negotiable meeting. Let play return to your hands without shame. Let contentment sit beside your focus and call them partners. Your future is not a cliff. It is a staircase. Each step is a decision. Each landing is a confirmation. Archangel Michael says, there will be a day when you realize you no longer look over your shoulder. That day will feel unremarkable and holy at the same time. Mark it quietly and keep going. The harm that hunted you has lost your scent. The fear that stalked you has lost your address. The doubt that questioned you has lost your phone number. Archangel Michael says, walk like someone escorted by certainty, speak like someone accompanied by truth. Rest like someone guarded by favor. Your life will not need disclaimers to be good. Your love will not need disguises to be safe. Your work will not need chaos to be valuable. Archangel Michael says, keep your boundaries soft on the inside and firm on the outside. Compassion for yourself on one side, clarity for others on the other. This is how you remain kind without becoming a casualty. The room of your future is filling with useful tools. Wisdom sits where worry used to pace. Discernment sits where doubt used to camp. Archangel Michael says, continue as you began, precise, gentle, and unafraid. The sword is bright and the path is open. The thread is behind you and the lesson is beside you. Your story now chooses scenes that do not require survival every hour. Your heart now chooses people who do not require self-erasure to stay. Your mind now chooses thoughts that build rather than bruise. Archangel Michael says, you did not skip the message and the message did not skip you. It entered, did its work, and left instructions you have followed well. Keep following them and watch your life prove you right. The friend who planned your downfall will become a footnote in a chapter about wisdom. The chapter will be short and the lesson will be clear. The rest of the book is yours to write with steady hands. Archangel Michael says, stand tall in rooms that used to fold you. Sit deep in chairs that hold your whole weight. Smile with the knowledge that your peace fits your face. What began as an alarm has matured into authority. What began as a warning has matured into wisdom. What began as a rescue has matured into routine. Archangel Michael says, keep going exactly like this. Keep loving exactly like this. Keep guarding exactly like this. Your horizon has moved closer and become real. Your steps have slowed and become sure. Your voice has softened and become strong. Archangel Michael says, I am near, but you are not fragile. I am present, but you are not dependent. I am watching, but you are walking. The path ahead is lit enough for the next step, and that is sufficient. The sky above is wide enough for new hopes, and that is generous. The ground below is strong enough for bolder moves. And that is faithful. Archangel Michael says, take the day in your hands and bless it with your choices. Take the night in your hands and seal it with your rest. Take your name in your hands and wear it without fear. Archangel Michael says, the storm that tried to own your sky has moved on. It leaves only the clean blue that arrives after hard weather. Breathe in the horizon that finally belongs to you. Your calendar now carries the weight of intention and not the weight of performance. Each entry respects your energy and not just your availability. Each hour returns value instead of extracting it. Archangel Michael says, "Do not apologize for the gates you closed. The garden behind them thrives because you chose care over chaos. The fruit will speak for the decision more clearly than any explanation. You have graduated from protecting yourself in secret to protecting yourself out loud. A shift rewires the room before you even arrive. A shift teaches every shadow where the edge is live." Archangel Michael says, "Grace has hands and they are not afraid to hold a boundary. Mercy has eyes and they are not blind to pattern. Love has a spine and it stands upright inside you. The places that once drained you no longer recognize your frequency. Your presence no longer bends to fit their old outline. Your soul no longer pays rent where it never slept well." Archangel Michael says, "Every new yes must equal your future. Every new project must honor your pace. Every new connection must protect your quiet. Your home becomes a sanctuary by habit and not by emergency. The floor remembers footsteps that choose peace. Walls learn to echo kindness instead of conflict." Archangel Michael says, "Invite slowness into the spaces where pressure used to sit. Invite light into the corners where caution used to shiver. Invite trust into the chair where pretense used to pose. The harmful friend shrinks in relevance until they are only a lesson with a time step. Your strategies expire like milk left in sunlight. Their names lose the gravity they once borrowed from your attention." Archangel Michael says, "Celebrate the small confirmations that arrive daily. A clean morning after deep sleep counts as victory. A clear mind after a firm no counts as progress. You can let joy be ordinary and still call it holy. You can let rest be quiet and still call it powerful. You can let hope be practical and still call it miraculous." Archangel Michael says, "Build routines that hold you like safe arms. Begin the day with one act that honors your body. End the day with one act that empties your mind of unneeded weight. Your discernment now works at walking speed and not just at sprint. It reads the room before you set your bag down. It reads the tone before you read the text." Archangel Michael says, "The right people love your clarity more than your compliance. They feel safer because you are honest. They feel richer because you are whole. Your talent stops auditioning for stages that cannot pay in integrity. Your gift stops negotiating with rooms that do not honor its cost. Your purpose stops pretending it fits where it never truly belonged." Archangel Michael says, "When memory visits, seat it beside gratitude and not beside grief. Let gratitude translate the past into usable wisdom. Let grief rest where it can no longer rewrite your present. The shape of your day reveals the shape of your values. You own the pen that draws those outlines. You own the eraser that removes what never should have lived there." Archangel Michael says, "Kindness remains your native language, but it now includes grammar. The sentences end where they should and no longer run on into exhaustion. The punctuation protects the meaning. The one who mistook your compassion for consent will not make that mistake again. They will meet a limit and call it unfamiliar terrain. They will meet your peace and call it a negotiable fact. Archangel Michael says, the world around you will attempt to speed you past your own wisdom. Refuse the hurry that erases nuance. Choose the pace where truth can breathe. Your decisions now hum with the sound of alignment. They do not squeal with friction. They do not rattle with second guessing. Archangel Michael says, practice receiving goodness without arching your back. Let your shoulders accept ease without apology. Let your hands accept help without suspicion. You have nothing to prove to people who lost access to your life. Let their conclusions remain theirs. Let your reality remain yours. Archangel Michael says, prepare for opportunities shaped like responsibility and relief. They will require focus and return peace. They will require effort and return joy. Your gifts want to be used where they are respected and not exploited. Your time wants to be spent where it is multiplied and not mined. Your heart wants to be seen where it is safe and not studied. Archangel Michael says, you are free to stop narrating your healing for audiences that prefer drama. Keep your progress private where privacy preserves momentum. Share your fruit rather than your process when sharing protects your center. The roads you take now are lit by principles and not by pressure. You know the difference because your breath stays steady. You know the difference because your sleep stays deep. Archangel Michael says, some doors stay closed not as punishment but as preservation. Let closure be a kindness to your nervous system. Let finality be a gift to your focus. Honor the seasons that carried you even when they were heavy. Honor the people who were true even when they were few. Honor the courage that arrived on the days no one saw. Archangel Michael says, continue to make room for laughter that does not insult your intelligence. Continue to make room for conversations that do not require shrinking. Continue to make room for work that does not betray your values. Your confidence is calibrating to truth rather than to praise. It rises when you keep promises to yourself. It rests when you release obligations that never belong to you. Archangel Michael says, allow creativity to return as play and as practice. Build without the old referee in your head. Explore without the old saboteur in your pocket. You no longer translate disrespect into misunderstanding. You no longer translate manipulation into confusion. You no longer translate inconsistency into mystery. Archangel Michael says, take inventory of your yes and your each week. Keep them honest with where you are and not with who you used to be. Keep them aligned with what you are building and not with what you are avoiding. The map ahead does not promise the absence of challenge. It promises the presence of you. It promises the presence of the wisdom you earned. Archangel Michael says, the room you prepare for your future self is already opening its windows. Air moves through it with ease because you removed the clutter of old approval. Light holds its place because you repaired the frames that used to creak. You are now difficult to fool and easy to bless. You are now difficult to derail and easy to love. You are now difficult to use and easy to trust. Archangel Michael says, let generosity follow discernment and not precede it. Give from overflow and not from deficit. Give where the soil is capable of fruit and not where it only consumes seed. Your language grows simpler as your power grows deeper. You say less and mean more. You do less and accomplish more. Archangel Michael says, stay consistent with the rituals that keep you clear. Hydrate your body, order your space, consecrate your time. Consistency is the quiet armor that chaos cannot penetrate. You will notice opportunities that once hid behind noise. You will notice pathways that once blurred under doubt. You will notice allies that once waited for your yes to yourself. Archangel Michael says, when you sense old patterns knocking, reap them with practiced calm. Have them for a day to unmeasure them to thee of it. Close the door with the dignity of someone who trusts their own home. The chapter about danger is complete and archived. The chapter about restoration is active and unfolding. The chapter about expansion is outlined and ready. Archangel Michael says, do not narrate tomorrow with the accent of yesterday. Speak the new season in its own voice. Write the new pages with the ink of proof and not the ink of fear. Your courage has become a habit. Your clarity has become a lens. Your peace has become a setting you do not lower. Archangel Michael says, this is what it feels like when protection matures into posture. This is what it looks like when warning matures into wisdom. This is what it sounds like when survival matures into stewardship. You are allowed to be fully alive without a disclaimer. You are allowed to be fully present without an apology. You are allowed to be fully loved without a negotiation. Archangel Michael says, I remain near as witness and ally. You remain capable as builder and bearer of light. Together we honor the life you chose when you did not skip the message. Walk forward with a cadence the future recognizes. Walk forward with a clarity the present resets. Walk forward with a calm the past cannot disturb. Archangel Michael says, your life has stepped out of the old echo and found its original voice. The timbre is steady, the pitch is honest, and the volume serves truth instead of fear. Let that voice arrange your days like music that fits your breath. The hours that once leaked are now sealed with intention. You pour your attention where it grows roots instead of puddles. You collect your peace like rain in a clean cistern. Archangel Michael says, keep your compass calibrated by small obediences. Rise when your spirit rises. Pause when your wisdom pauses. Stop when your boundary speaks. These three movements keep you aligned with protection. You have learned to sort every invitation by cost and return. Some rooms return fatigue and some rooms return strength. Choose the rooms that escort you back to yourself. Archangel Michael says, the shadow studies your patterns but cannot imitate your integrity. Integrity is a frequency counterfeit cannot tune to. Stay at that frequency and sabotage loses signal. Your calendar now honors the seasons of your energy. Work sits beside rest without guilt. Ambition walks with recovery without conflict. Archangel Michael says, keep a door in your day that opens only to gratitude. Step through it when prayer pretends to be purpose. Return when clarity is ready to lead again. The harmful friend is no longer a character in your present tense, there remain a note in your archive labeled lesson. The archive stays closed unless wisdom asks for reference. Archangel Michael says, make your decisions visible to yourself, write what you will honor and keep that list near your hands. This visibility turns drift into direction. You are safer now because you are simple now. Simplicity is not lack. It is precision. Precision removes the handle sabotage used to pull you off course. Archangel Michael says, when new trust arrives, welcome it slowly and clearly. Teach it your boundaries as you would teach a house its locks. Teach it your values as you would teach a garden its seasons. Your nights are returning your mornings intact. Your mornings are returning your afternoons productive. Your afternoons are returning your evenings peaceful. Archangel Michael says, let your body remain the first messenger you believe. It told you when something was off and you listened. Keep listening and keep honoring what you hear. Keep beauty near your work so your work remembers why it exists. Keep order near your rest so your rest remembers it is safe. Keep hope near your planning so your planning remembers it is human. Archangel Michael says, do not translate other people's discomfort as your assignment. Let them stew their sky while you steward yours. This is how Asvada keeps its shape. You will continue to meet choices that look costly and become liberating. You will continue to meet paths that look narrow and become spacious. You will continue to meet truths that look sharp and become healing. Archangel Michael says, remain generous without leaking. Remain open without being unguarded. Remain kind without being unclear. Your story no longer treats chaos as a credential. Your gifts no longer apply for jobs in rooms that insult their worth. Your heart no longer negotiates with loneliness by accepting harm. Archangel Michael says, practice departures that are gentle and final. Wish what is leaving well and let it leave. Bless what is arriving and let it stay. Keep your focus measured in breaths and not in alarms. Keep your courage measured in actions and not in noise. Keep your joy measured in consistency and not in spectacle. Archangel Michael says, you will know alignment by 3 witnesses. Your body relaxes, your mind clears, and your spirit brightens. When these agree, proceed with both feet. Let your friendships be habitats and not performance stages. Let your partnerships be covenants and not contracts of convenience. Let your community be a circle and not a cage. Archangel Michael says, give your future a tidy place to land. Clean the surfaces where new ideas will rest. Clear the pathways where new provision will move. The lesson has turned from fire to light. You are warm without burning and bright without blinding. Hold that balance and let it multiply. Archangel Michael says, every boundary you honor feeds your confidence. Every priority you protect feeds your momentum. Every value you practice feeds your peace. You are not waiting for permission to be well. You are practicing wellness in the present tense. You are proving to yourself that safety can be a rhythm. Archangel Michael says, answer opportunity with stewardship, not hurry. Haste was the door the shadow used to prefer. Stewardship is the door only wisdom can open. Let your language continue to get cleaner. Say what you mean what you say, and leave space around the words for quiet to do its work. This space is how trust breathes. Archangel Michael says, your discernment is a lantern, not a siren. It guides instead of startling. It keeps the path visible without exhausting your nerves. You have learned to close circles that were never meant to remain open. Loose ends used to trip your steps. Now they are tied with clarity. This neatness is not control, it is care. Archangel Michael says, practice gratitude as a discipline and not as a performance. Name what is true, honor what is good, and keep both within reach. This practice keeps your souls applied. The door behind you is locked and labeled complete. The door before you is open and labeled build. Walk through with the tools you earn. Archangel Michael says, trust the timing that protected you by delaying you. Delay was not neglect, it was calibration. Now that you are calibrated, movement is honest. Your creative work will feel like accurate weather. It will rain where it should and shine where it serves. Forecasts will become plans because you are consistent. Archangel Michael says, when you feel strong, be gentle. When you feel gentle, be clear. When you feel clear, be brave. These three together keep you balanced. Balance keeps you effective. You will not need to defend your healing in rooms that deserve you. Those rooms will defend you while you heal. Those rooms are the ones you keep, Archangel Michael says. Refuse any story that requires you to disappear to be loved. Love that costs your whole self is not love. Keep your whole self and watch love arrive upgraded. Your path bends toward expansion that respects your limits. It grows without tearing. It enlarges without erasing. Archangel Michael says, remain available to correction from wisdom and unavailable to confusion from envy. Wisdom prunes, envy poisons. Choose pruning and you will flurry. The season ahead will ask you to be faithful more than flashy. Faithful work compounds into fruit. Flashy effort evaporates into appetite. Archangel Michael says, measure success by integrity kept, peace preserved, and people protected. These metrics do not trend, but they endure. Build with them and you will outlast noise. You will notice your laughter change texture. It is no longer a mask, but a melody. It sounds like someone who trusts their own oxygen. Archangel Michael says, honor the helpers who arrived when you chose yourself. Keep them close and clear. Relationships like these are anchors with wings. A memory of danger grows quiet without being forgotten. It remains as reference, not residence. It informs without ruling. Archangel Michael says, continue to invest in rest as strategy. Rest restores truth's microphone. Rest returns coherence to your decisions. You are writing a chapter titled Continuity. Its paragraphs repeat good choices until they become culture. Its lines hum with the safety of habit. Archangel Michael says, keep your hands clean and your pace kind. Clean hands hold power without harm. Tying pace crosses finish lines that frantic sprints miss. Let your legacy be measured in people who felt safe near your life. Let your legacy be measured in rooms made gentler by your presence. Let your legacy be measured in promises you kept to yourself. Archangel Michael says, you are doing it right when your peace does not need witnesses. You are doing it right when your clarity does not need applause. You are doing it right when your boundaries do not need debate. The horizon remains yours because you continue to walk toward it in truth. The day remains generous because you meet it without disguises. The night remains friendly because you end it without fear. Archangel Michael says, proceed. Keep the sword bright, the door wise, and the heart open to what is safe. This is how protection becomes your posture and blessing becomes your baseline.